The Army Upgrade channel continues to give you a look at the most promising weapons from around the world. Today we look at France, which year by year manages to increase its arms exports. The French aircraft company Dassault Aviation has already sold Rafale fighters to Egypt, Qatar, Colombia and India. And the most popular product is the French multi-purpose fourth-generation fighter Rafale. Recall that the Rafale won the tender for the purchase of fighters in India. New Delhi paid such an exorbitant amount for 36 machines that the opposition began to seek an anti-corruption investigation. Indeed, this deal is literally a white lie, as evidenced by the prices of the best machines in this class. The US 5th generation F-22 fighter jet, the best in the generation, costs $150 million. Before the Indian scandal, it was the most expensive fighter in the world. The F-35, also a 5th generation fighter, costs $100 million. The Russian Su-35, a Generation 4++ fighter, costs 75 million euros. The MiG-35, 45 million euros. And the Rafale, which made its first flight 35 years ago, just think about it, 218 million euros. Before signing a contract for the purchase of 36 Rafale, specialists of the manufacturing company Dassault Aviation have inspected the Indian aircraft industry. When the contract was signed, the French declared that India had no manufacturing culture and therefore will not be given any technology. Because if the Indian Rafale starts to fall and explode on takeoff, it will be a crushing blow to the reputation of the respected company. A new round of India's landmark tender, which has been going on for 18 years, has been opened. Now New Delhi must decide on the purchase of not 126, but 114 fighters, the cost of which should not exceed $10 billion. The contenders are still the same: the American F-16 and F-18 Super Hornet, the Eurofighter Typhoon, the Swedish Gripen and the Russian MiG-35. And also, oddly enough, the French Rafale, whose manufacturers have decided to break the whole bank. That leaves the Eurofighter Typhoon and the MiG-35. The Russian plane is brand new. It is 16 years younger than the European. It belongs to Generation 4++. The Typhoon does not have these advantages. The Russian fighter has the latest avionics. Some of its systems compete on an equal footing with those of 5th generation aircraft. For example, there is the G-force protection system, which automatically prevents the fighter from entering modes that may lead to an accident. Only the F-35, which is considered a mighty artificial intelligence aircraft, still has G-force. The Typhoon and the MiG-35 are about equal in terms of ratings. The speed is exactly the same. So is the effective dispersion area, about 1 square meter. The same maximum takeoff weight, 23,500 kg, and payload, 7,000 kg. The Typhoon has slightly more engine thrust, combat radius and ceiling, but less rate of climb. Of course, the MiG-35 has higher maneuverability. This is a trademark feature of all Russian fighters. And it can be increased. The aircraft can be optionally equipped with an engine with an all-round deflectable thrust vector. The Russian fighter has one more advantage. It has an in-air refueling system and its combat radius can be significantly extended. At the same time, the price is very attractive, $50 million versus $120 million. Even if they were absolutely identical aircraft, paying twice as much is a rather strange decision, which can be explained by very strong political economic considerations. And this could be the deciding factor in choosing the winner. Because the Indian tender most accurately illustrates the saying, "The East is a thin business." Recently, the Indian press and the Indian Navy officially notified that the Dassault Rafale M fighter meets more requirements than the other candidate for a new fighter aircraft carrier Vikrant, the Boeing F-18 Super Hornet. The Indian Navy's signing of a multi-billion-dollar contract with France for the delivery of 26 Dassault Rafale M deck fighters is about to happen. Paris is careful to ensure that the combat vehicle, which made its first flight in 1986, remains at world-class standards at all times. For example, the French government has signed a €2 billion contract with Dassault Aviation to develop the Rafale fighter in the F4 standard, which is expected to be ready by 2024, although some features of the new combat vehicle have already been tested by 2022. The F4 standard includes upgrades to the RBE-2 active far sensor radar, the TALIOS long-range radar guidance module and the RICO-ING reconnaissance module, all manufactured by Thales. The modernization will also touch upon the communication system and the displays on the pilots' helmets. The aircraft will be equipped with a new engine control unit. The deck version, Rafale M, will get an upgraded, all-weather and more accurate aircraft carrier landing system. These 28 aircraft will have some functionality of the F4 version and will be delivered to the French Air Force starting in 2023. Another 30 full standard F4 aircraft will be ordered in 2023 for delivery between 2027 and 2030, bringing the French Rafale fighter fleet to a strength of 210 combat vehicles. The fighter will also have new weapons, notably the MBDA-developed MIG-35 air-to-air missile and the 1,000-kilogram AASM modular air-to-ground weapon, and will also be able to carry the new Scout missiles. The F4 standard will also be equipped with the Talios multifunctional optronic module by Thales. The Rafale F4 will have new enhanced network warfare capabilities. We will be able to get more data, improve our data rates, get information, particularly through satellite communications and software-defined radio. The F4 standard ensures that the Rafale will remain at world-class fighter aircraft levels so that our Air Force can perform all its combat missions with optimal efficiency, whether in coalition operations or completely independently, as required by the French nuclear deterrence policy. France's defense industry leaders realized that without arms exports, they could not provide the country's own armed forces with the most innovative and high-performance weapons. At present, no European country can maintain the competitiveness of its defense industry based on its domestic market alone. By the way, with support of French company, Thales Optronic, the sighting systems ISA for T-90 tanks or PLISA for T-80 tanks were built on their base. Thanks to that, Russia has established production and became the fourth country in the world after the USA, France and China, which managed to create its own thermal imaging matrix. See everything about the US Navy Blue Angels aerobatic team at the end of the video at the link. See you on Army Upgrade.